What's good? God is good. I'm your host, J.DIDIT. Welcome to Thursday Therapies, a podcast for all creatives, writers, rappers, poets, artists, activists, Sacramento community therapy session. Today, from the streets of Sacramento to saving grace of God, Murcy 34, formerly known as Murda 34, embodies redemption, resilience, and raw testimony. After surviving a life marked by foster care, juvenile hall, gang violence, heartbreak, and near fatal shooting, Murcy found his purpose in Christ. Nearly 8 years into his walk with the Lord, he uses his music and message to glorify God, share his testimony, and inspire others to raise above their past. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Thursday Therapies.
I feel welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on the show. I remember running into you and just talking to you and listening to a little bit of your story, and it really inspired me, and I've been thinking about you ever since, and I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate you for showing up.
Man, I thank y'all, man. It's all God at the end of the day. I wouldn't even be able to meet you, stand there, talk to you, share my testimony with you if it wasn't for him. So
yeah, we aligned right at the right time. I feel like it was meant to be for sure.
Ain't nothing by accident when it comes to God. Everything divine. So
that part.
I knew that was a divine connection. Somebody need to hear what
Absolutely.
we're about to talk about, surely.
Absolutely. So as you know, Thursday Therapies is a podcast bringing awareness to mental health. I just want to ask you some questions, get to know you, know your journey a little more, and let the world see who you truly are.
All right, yeah, I'm with it.
It's all good. It's all good. So you grew up on the east side of Sacramento, Lincoln Village to be exact.
Right.
Can you take us back? What was life like growing up there?
So my grandparents had lived there, they hold for a while. My nana was from France. And so she had came out here, and they moved to that side of town. And so I just remember, even as a baby, probably like 2, 3, 4, we used to always be over there visiting. Well, eventually we moved in, and ever since then, it was cool, regular stuff going on in the hood, you know what I mean? Just, but I did, it was all right. It wasn't too crazy. And I really don't remember much, I guess you could say, as like at a young age, other than ripping and running the streets, you know what I mean? Chilling at the liquor store, or, really. And then I had a pops that was like overly protective. So like, you know what I mean? He was big. So he would try to keep us in the house as much as he could, you know what I'm saying? Away from everything. But yeah, so we officially moved out there, I think, when I was like, we was always out there, but we moved out there. I think I was probably like, I don't know, 10, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, just regular.
That's a pretty tough neighborhood, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is now.
It was, and it still is. You know what I'm saying? It's just, how politics is. People making gangs up, and you know what I'm saying, and it's different this, different that, and I feel like the whole world corrupt and contaminated at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I just thank God that I was able to really lock in with him and take myself away from all of that, because the streets don't love us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like, ain't no purpose there.
Yeah. For sure. So you shared that your childhood was filled with chaos, addiction, abuse, and instability. How did that shape how you saw love and family as a kid?
Man. Well, now that I'm 37, I kind of learned that I never really knew love like that. So I really didn't even know what it was at a young age, and it affected me as I grew up. I didn't know how to love. Not only did I not know how to love other people, but I didn't know how to love myself. I never loved myself. I always felt like a black sheep and all of that, because, I grew up with the Mexican side and the black side, and all the way up till I was like 16, almost 17, I found out my dad wasn't my real dad. After growing up in the culture and growing up with my family and my nana, my granny, you know what I'm saying, everybody, and it was just like, it was just crazy. So for me, after that, I lost a lot of whatever love I had. I lost it. You know what I'm saying? And I lost my way. But But it definitely affected the way I love now. You know what I'm saying? Even now as a man of God, like I still have to choose love.
Right.
And I think that's all of us. Like you have to choose to love, but then you have to know what love is. You know, love is patient, love is kind, love does not brag, does not boast. It's slow to anger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to really love somebody, you have to see the fruit. So that's what I'm working on right now. But as far as my past as a child, it affected the way I love now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
A lot of what I thought was love was just infatuation or the feeling of being in loving, the feeling of being in love, or thinking of, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or just infatuated with the thought of love, and you know what I mean? So it's like that's how we get caught up in soul ties and all kind of stuff. I mean, that's a whole nother subject, but yeah, it definitely affected the
facts.
way I love for surely. But since I found God's love though, it's been easier for me to choose love.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than choose hate or spite or animosity or, you know what I mean?
Something that's beautiful. That. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
For sure.
So you touched on it a little bit, but at the age of 14, you found out that the man who raised you wasn't your biological father. That's pretty heavy. That's a heavy truth to carry at such a young age. So what went through your mind when you found out? When
I first found out I was 14, yeah. But then I just really didn't. When I was 17 is when I, like 16, 17 is when I really found out, like, you know, I didn't want to believe it at first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, basically, man, it just, in that happening, it kind of tore me apart because I feel like I never really felt like I belonged. Cause like it's 5 boys.
Yeah.
Couple of my brothers got curly hair. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, now I came out with straight hair. Like, there ain't no way this.
Wow.
Why my name ain't Junior? You know what I'm saying? Why my little brother name is the Junior? And it was just things I would put together. And every time he'll whoop me, he'd be like, "It's the things I gotta tell you when you 18."
Damn.
And I'm like, I'll be like, huh? What are you talking about? And then finally I found out. I commend the brother for taking that position. But I also ask myself sometimes, like, would it have been better to just not have a father at all versus having a father who beat your mama? And then this isn't to you know, detriment his character or anything, you know what I'm saying, or whatever that word is. I forgot. But, you know, like, I just say, like, would it have been easier or better for me to just not have a father versus to have that? Because I took a lot of his traits and characteristics and dragged it into my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I thought that was love. Matter of fact, to go back to the last, like, I thought that was love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I thought toxicity was love. I thought physical abuse was love.
Right.
I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought narcissism and manipulation, I thought that was love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought a woman submitting to you and doing what you say, whatever whatever I tell you to do, you do it. And you don't question it. I thought that was love.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it took a toll on me for surely, you know what I'm saying? And then it didn't change my love for nobody. I'm still family. I don't do the half. I don't do the step.
Right.
I don't do the, if we cousins, we cousins.
Right.
If we brothers, we brothers. If you my daughter, you my daughter. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's cool though, because if I didn't go through all of that, I wouldn't be able to relate to those who need to hear this message.
Absolutely.
Which it just makes it easier for me to relate. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to nobody if I'm trying to help you, if I'm trying to motivate you and speak positivity into you. It's coming from experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would go through years of just being like, why am I going through this?
Right.
How I give my life to God at 12, but I'm still in the hood and I'm still dealing with abuse and I'm still dealing with this and that. Like, it didn't make no sense to me, but it makes sense now, so.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So you spoke of your mom being a woman of God who still battled addiction, but always kept you in church. What impact did her faith have on your journey?
My mama. Man. I always tell her, like, hey, look, I'm going to need you to get back right with God because you the reason why I'm going through all of this. Because when I was in her womb, she was, like, praying over me, praying over her belly, dedicated me to God. Then when I came out, she rededicated me to God. My fault. She rededicated me to God. You know what I'm saying? And and then just kept us in church all the time. You know what I mean? And that, I feel like that was her escape. My mom is, I think, if not her, someone before her, somebody brought Christianity, Jesus into the family, and then was just holding it down, which I think it was my mom. Now, what I feel like religion has brought a misunderstanding is like, just because you give your life to God doesn't mean that your life becomes perfect.
Right.
You actually become a threat to the devil.
Yes.
You're more of a threat than you were when you were living in the world. Actually, when you living in the world, he got you wrapped around his finger. But I say all that to say, like, whatever you struggle with may enhance, but that's your opportunity to choose him. So even in her times, now that I see how hard it is as a man of God, as a father, as a brother, as a friend, to really stand firm and not fall short. You know what I mean? It's the fact that his love, his grace, and his mercy is really what I feel like kept her motivated and kept her pushing. She may have still struggled, she may have fell back here and there, but we always ended up back at the church house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was the only light skinned, you know what I'm saying? We was in an all black church doing stomp team, and you know, my mom was like, you guys are doing everything. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, you know, we were there, we felt at home. My mom was just always, we should drop us off there sometimes, but you know, we was locked in. So really all we knew, sometimes that was our escape too.
Yeah.
Was church. You feel me? So but like I said, now that I look at life as a 37-year-old man, I look at it and I analyze and I observe, like, dang, it's hard. It's hard to do it. You know what I mean? And then I can imagine taking abuse, physical, mental, emotional abuse, and then still having to be a parent.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, what she went through, I put my wife, I had married at 19 years old. I put her through what my pops put my mom through.
Yeah, you just grew with what
because
you knew.
I thought it was love.
Yeah.
And even in the midst of me, I'm giving my life to God, or we got to get married. She had like 5 miscarriages.
Wow.
Before, and I'm like, I know what it is. It's because God is not honoring it because I'm having sex outside of marriage. Wow. So it's crazy. We got married, and that night on her honeymoon, she had my oldest. She was impregnated with my oldest. Yep. And it's crazy. So I say all that to say, like, even in the middle of your walk, fresh in your walk, like, you're gonna get tested. You're gonna get tempted.
Get tested the hardest.
Right. And guess what? Through them tests and through that temptation and through you falling short of the glory and making mistakes, that's where you grow.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make a mistake, I'm scared of you.
Yeah.
If you don't have a wrongful thought, if you don't have a hateful feeling, I'm scared of you. Right. We all struggle with these things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I just know, like, seeing my mom go through what she went through and still choosing God is what helps me still choose God till this day. You know what I mean?
That's a blessing.
No matter what I'm going through, like, it doesn't matter. I could be in the darkest season of my life and I could not be doing anything and I'm still going to choose God. You know what I'm saying?
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. So being the oldest of 5 boys, you carried a lot on your shoulders. How did that responsibility affect your mental health growing up?
Man, I felt like I was a dad as a kid.
Yeah.
Like these was my sons. I feel like I really didn't have I don't really want to say a normal childhood because I don't know what that looks like, but
right.
Like, yeah, we was always at the house to the neck, you know what I'm saying? They telling us don't go outside, we outside with it. As soon as we know mom at work, pops at work, we gone.
Yeah.
We in the back of the apartment somewhere. But growing up with my brothers, man, and I don't think I've ever really said this on an interview or a podcast or anything like that, but it actually just came to me right now. Is like, I don't think we really knew how to love each other because of the love, quote unquote love we was seeing in the household. We kind of hated each other sometimes.
Yeah.
Always fighting. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest brother. I'm talking about fights. We thought we was the Power Rangers, the 3 Ninjas. We thought we was everything. And we was jumping off couches and bunk beds and, you know, kicking each other. And it's just crazy. But I just say all that to say, like, I guess now I see the result of our childhood in my brothers, because we're not really, we close, but we keep our distance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, if it's a problem, we pulling up, like,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying, or like, at least I'm gonna get you out of there, or whatever we got to do. Like, we're gonna come together in the sense of like when it's urgent or an emergency.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Here and there, we'll call each other. What's up, bro? Love you. Woo. But it's like, my trust issues is thin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I can't even trust myself, let alone somebody else. So it's like, sometimes those get in the way.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Those trust issues, the trauma from the past that we may still deal with, that I don't claim.
Wow.
But I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't still deal with those things.
Yeah.
You know, but I just think as a child, it was exhausting. We all had our own stuff going on, all had our own personalities. I got a brother that's quiet to himself. He knows how to build anything. You know what I mean? I got another brother laughing, joking all the time. Everything's funny and don't know how to be serious until it's time to cry about something or something serious happens. I got another brother that live in Texas, don't even live around. He ended up sliding up out and having a baby, and then got another baby brother who got taken and was given to my aunt because they found drugs in my mom's system. He like 18, 20.
Wow.
You know, but everybody got their own thing going on right now. It did affect, I feel like, the way we connect now. My brothers told me just recently, like, bro, we thought you was like 18 the whole time. Like, because I got a beard, I got like a little bit of hair right here and a mustache at 12. So the whole time my brother's thinking I'm way older than I was.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. I love my brothers, man. I love them, man. You know, shout out to my brothers. But yeah, our past definitely affected the way we love now, for surely.
Yeah. Do you think you can turn it around?
Man, I feel like it's coming.
It's coming.
I feel like it's right
It's gonna
here.
come.
Like I can taste it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we gonna all come together and, you know, be healed and, you know what I'm saying, and love correctly. And
that's what's up. I see that for you. That's a blessing. That's what's
appreciate
up.
You.
So you described moments as a kid where you felt like you could see everyone else but not yourself. That's pretty deep. How did that disconnection affect your mental health and emotional health?
Man, I was like 7. Wow. In the mirror, right? Like I wouldn't even stand in front of the mirror if I got out the shower, I didn't like to go in front of the mirror naked.
Wow.
At 7 years old. And then I'm like, I went through a little phase where I started tripping because I'm like, how come I could see my hands and feet and everything, but I can't see my own face?
Oh, wow.
I was just having, like, I don't know why my mind was going everywhere, but it was. And I was so young, but it caused a lot of worry. Wow. For no reason. You know what I'm saying? It caused a lot of anxiety, you know, and caused a lot of, like, you know, I just wanted to know why I was here. And I knew who God was. I've heard of him. I've been in church. Was forced, you know what I'm saying, in those times to be in church. Like I feel like a lot of us were back in the days. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, man, you know, all right, well, if there's a God, why am I going through this? Why do I got this? Why do I do this? So it was just, I would try to explain that to people at a young age, but nobody will really, you know, understand me. They think I'm crazy or something, you know, but it's like, and then I started to see, like, man, I feel like, always felt like I was chosen. You know what I mean? And so with those thoughts and those, it would just bring like creativity to my mind. I would have vivid dreams. My mom would be like, what are you watching? And I wouldn't be watching nothing. Wow. But it would just be like vivid dreams of temples and earthquakes and floods and, you know, nights walking around with sword. I can still remember to this day because she told me to start writing everything down. Yeah. And that's kind of how I got through that little season of my life of thinking that I could, like thinking like, why can't I see myself, you know? Wow. But yeah, it definitely just took me into how it affected my mental health. It just took me deeper. Yeah. It caused more questions in my mind, like that I needed answers to, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, even in the midst of all of that, still crazy stuff going on, I would still find time to like, man, why am I here? I feel
7,
like that's
that's
I feel like that's too young.
that's very young.
Yeah, I feel like that's too young. So
Wow. So I mean, you are very alert and aware that
right,
something is going on around you for
right,
sure.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't even explain it, to be honest, when it
Wow.
comes to that. Yeah.
Wow. So, when did you first start realizing that what you were experiencing, like the anxiety and the overthinking and the heavy thoughts, was a part of a bigger battle with mental health?
When did I start realizing that it was basically bigger than me?
Yes.
So I want to say like when I was 12. I gave my life to Christ. I went to a church camp that I couldn't even afford to go to, but I guess I don't know how it happened. Some people came together, but I was just walking around and I heard a room with like worship music, woo, and I'm like, man, let me go up in here, hard-headed kid. Go up in there, felt the presence of the Holy Spirit, people praying, people on the ground. I'm like, man, that's what I need. But I just felt something when I walked in there. So 12 years old is when I confessed to these people, to God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I would have anxiety. I'd be up all night. You know what I'm saying? And on that day I knew that it was too big for me. Like it was too much for me to handle on my own.
Wow.
And I just kept hearing like, hey, if you surrender everything to God and you give your life to Jesus, like you ain't gotta worry about if the battle's too big for you, then it belongs to Him. It don't even belong to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I need that. Like I need someone that I know is gonna be there with me and for me, And it was on that day that I realized that like, yeah, this is too big for me. It's too much for just me.
Yeah.
I can't do it on my own. And I can't rely on my mom and I can't rely on my dad. But I can rely on Him. So I did that.
Did you fully understood at 12? I
Oh,
mean,
for
you're still
surely.
trying to learn and
For
everything
surely,
like that.
definitely. Because I was lying about my age. Don't get it twisted. I was 12, but to everybody else, I was 15.
Yeah.
Or 16.
Yeah, I remember those
You
days.
know what I'm saying? I was like, get my heart broken at 12 because I'm trying to go out with a 15-year-old and she got 5 boyfriends and I'm thinking she the love of my life.
Oh, wow.
On the party line.
I mean, you were really woke back then, at such a young age, and it just God is showing you signs,
Man.
at such a young age, and that's amazing.
I done try to run away at 7. You know what I'm saying? Pack my bag or pack all my clothes in a paper bag and dip out, all of that. I'm ready to be on my own.
Wow. What role has faith played helping you fight those mental battles?
I stand on it. Like I live by it.
Yeah.
Any and every thing that I have is came, I feel like, from me holding on to my faith. Holding on to my faith has prevented me from being selfish and taking my own life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like standing on my faith has just brought me closer to God, because the more I have faith, the more He shows me who He is. You know what I'm saying? Because we save by faith, by grace through faith. We save by grace through faith, so it's like we save through our faith in God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And His grace that is sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So, like it was serious. You know what I'm saying? It was big. And I just knew that if I held on to my faith, that no matter what I went through, no matter what was going on, like, I've been through molestation, I've been through, perversion and doing stuff at a young age. And, which is probably what affected me when I was so young, was because I was doing stuff grown people do at a young age and thought it was okay.
Right.
Well, knew it wasn't okay, but we were left with nothing but to do that.
Right.
Because parents was on drugs and doing stuff in the other room, and you leaving kids in the same room by themselves. We in the hood. It's like we gonna figure it out. We stealing cigarette butts. We stealing, weed, and So we were young. I was young when I hit my first blunt. So, but just my faith, it has been my faith in God that has really carried me. You know what I'm saying? Like carried me, maybe even dragged me through some seasons of my life, because I don't even know. There's no way I could have did it.
I feel you on that part.
Yeah.
I totally feel you on that, because I feel like I done been dragged a few times. I don't know how I made it out on the other side, and it's only by the grace of God.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's Him, is when it's like, wait, hold on, I ain't even do nothing to deserve this.
Right.
Like, I don't even deserve this.
Yeah.
Yet you're still being treated like you deserve it. And that's because His mercies are new every morning. His grace is sufficient, and His mercies are new every morning. So what you may beat yourself up for, He'll bless you for.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? As long as you hold on to your faith, you continue to surrender and choose God, choose love. That's like, it all comes together, you know what I'm saying, on His time. But hopefully I answered your question on that part. But
absolutely. Yes, it all sounds good.
It's the Holy Spirit. For sure.
So why do you think mental health awareness is so important, especially in communities of faith or among young men who often feel that they need to hold everything in?
Man, I feel like because a lot of these youngsters haven't learned how to express themselves, express their emotions, because we live in that generation, in those times of technology, to where, it started not a little while back, where, the Xboxes and the PlayStations and everything started to come out, the Super Nintendos and the Nintendos and the, Ataris and all of that too, which was our era, my era.
Yeah.
So, but I say that to say, like, I feel like it's beyond important. It's critical.
It is critical.
It's critical because as a grown-up, for those who can relate to dealing with depression and suicide and suicidal thoughts, I should say, or tendencies, or just, living in darkness, and then just like imagine a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Imagine a child feeling that. But nowadays, it's so much easier for them to access, people to fill their heads up with things that aren't true, or, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe even cause them to push themselves to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's because they want to be accepted. They want to be liked. They need comments. They need sharing. And I get caught in that sometimes.
Every day. So
I can imagine what these kids are going through now in these times where they're growing up with these phones and these iPads and these AIs and these. It's serious. It's critical, because all those things are trained to. They were created to train your brain.
Right.
To need that as a dopamine, and unfortunately, these kids that live in this generation are having to experience that, grow up with that, live with that. And it's really up to us, the parents or the grandparents or whoever the leader is, or it's up to us to recreate the morals that we once had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so these kids are really innocent because they're only doing what we allow them to. But it's easier for them to express themselves through a phone than it is through their mouth.
It's just like another mask.
Right.
You're you have you get up and put a mask on every day, but then you're masked through the phone or through the iPad.
And you know what? There's healing in confession. It's
not your true, authentic self.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's healing in confession.
Absolutely.
There's healing in saying, hey, look, I struggle with this and I need help.
Yes.
That's why usually when you do that, you'll start crying.
Yes.
Because it's deep.
Yes.
It's a deep emotional beginning of a healing process for you to confess. It says in the Bible to confess on one another so that you may be healed. Basically, man, just it comes down to, yes, I feel like mental health help is critical right now. It's affecting the kids. Technology obviously is affecting the kids. It's pulling them away from being able to communicate physically, socially, verbally, I should say. And I feel like it's also causing them to shut down in ways to where they feel seen when they go on, and they feel like they're socializing if they just jump on the phone, and you know what I mean? So I feel like parents should just be aware of those things. Limit the time.
Yeah.
No matter, who cares if they hate you or they get mad at you because you take their phone. And my kids are lucky we're
Right.
not in the same house.
They're
'Cause
gonna
it'd be a
thank you
totally
later.
different. Right,
They'll
exactly.
thank
You
you
know what I'm
later.
saying? But now it's like it's even harder for the parents to communicate with their kids.
Right.
And that'll cause a parent to go crazy or fall into a dark place because now they feel powerless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of parents are blaming themselves. In our reality, it's just the way things are evolving, technology and
Yeah.
all of that. And we want our kids to have the newest iPhone, Apple Watch, whoop,
Right.
whoop, all of this. And it's like, so, but we all fall short in that area.
Yeah,
Man.
because we want to provide for our kids and give them what we never had, but then we don't realize how much damage it's doing
Man,
to our kids.
man.
You know, we don't even know it. We just think, okay, you know, this is the next, you know, latest thing. It's the next gadget. My mom couldn't afford it, so let
Right.
me go ahead and get it for my kids because I want to show them a greater life. But, you know, at some point you have to have that healthy boundary and you know, turn off the phone and unplug and go outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sun is the best medicine.
Man.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So you started writing poems at just 9 or 10 years old. Do you remember when you realized writing was actually healing for you?
It was in grade school. Yep, when I was writing them poems, I just remember I couldn't wait to turn it in. You know what I'm saying? Cause I know it's finna be the best poem. You know what I mean? Or that's just how I felt. Like I spent a lot of time on it, and it got me a good grade, but it also got me conversation with the teacher too, though. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on at home? Is everything okay? I'm like, oh yeah, everything's fine, but it wasn't. But I realized at a very young age, and I want to say it was about 10 years old. I was sitting there in my underwear, and my little chonies figured out how to put a microphone together to and plug it into the computer, but then have music playing in the background and could record it all. And I was
Wow.
like, Mom, just you clean the house, I'll make the music. Like, you know
Oh,
what I'm
wow.
saying? And so ever since then, I just knew like something was coming. You know what I mean? Like I was 14 at parties with grown-ups freestyling, and you know what I mean, embarrassing grown men, you feel me? And I was just
Wow.
like, people would tell me like, bro, you finna make it. So I had a bunch of people around me too to be like, fill me up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boast on me, and like, dang, maybe I am finna be somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Young age.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you said music became therapy for you. How has it evolved from being your escape to now becoming your ministry?
It's still my escape. I
It
ain't
is.
gonna lie to you.
Okay.
It's an outlet that I formed at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
and writing, you know, like I said, from the poems, from my mom making me write my dreams out so I didn't forget them. Be like 10 pages long, you know what I'm saying? But there was just something about writing it down that felt like I was releasing
Mm-hmm.
how I felt onto a piece of paper, and I knew since it was written down that it was almost felt like it was set in stone, you know what I'm saying? So as I grew up, I just, you know, I would try to write raps here, raps there. I used to, you know, mystical. I used to try to find the instrumentals to mystical, and you know what I'm saying, and be legit and all of it.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to find anything and everything I could find an instrumental to, but I can tell you that it's therapy for surely, and it just became a ministry because that's where God wanted it to go. Like I was rapping for the world. I had seasons in my life, you know. I was rapping for the world. I was rapping, you know, with everybody. I had songs with, you know, June on the beat and Street Knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to my brother Street Knowledge, and you know, my brother Young Meezy and Showbanger, and you know, my bro Steezy, and you know, I was out there really moving around.
Yeah.
You know, I had that season too. So it's always been therapeutic, but when it became a ministry was when I surrendered at 29.
Mm.
And I was about to drop this album with Chicken Hill Productions, and they had spent thousands and thousands of dollars on it. And I had everything I needed: jewelry, money, girls. You know what I'm saying? I was moving around. I was building this album up, and it was called Psych Meds.
Wow.
And it was because I was going through a suicidal season, and I ended up, and while I was making that, I was on the psych meds.
Wow.
And I was in the middle of getting them prescribed, and then started taking them for 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh, no, I can't do this. Because, like, I guess they said 6 weeks or 3 months or something. I can't remember what it was, that you're going to lose sleep. You're going to lose weight. You're going to feel irritated. You're going to do, like, I already do all that. Like, I can't have that tripled and doubled. So I'm like, I'm straight. Like, I was just feeling crazier than I was. You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of me living that lifestyle and trying to drop this album, I was dealing with a lot of dark thoughts. Didn't feel loved. Was still dealing with drama with my baby mom, trying to see my kids. And so I ended up jumping on the phone to call a suicide hotline. Well, I ended up calling it, and I was talking to the dude and telling him that he ended up being a Christian. And he was like, call me on my personal line. So I called him on his personal line. Until this day, I'm a part of their, this was 2019, so this is about 7 years ago, 2018, 2019. And I'm now still, since then, a part of their, they have like a suicidal prayer group.
Wow.
People call in, we get the message, hey, someone just called, said they're dealing with this, they need prayer. Like, I'm a part of that still to this day. But that's what happened was I was in the midst of that, gun to my head, you know, I was ready to go. So I had a dream that night. God gave me a revelation that, yeah, you're gonna blow off this album. Like, you're gonna blow, but you're gonna lead a lot of people to their grave too.
Wow.
With everything that you're talking about in there, and that's blood on your hands, because you're gonna lead every listener that takes your music and decides to do something. Their blood's on your hands. And I'm like, I surrender. I'm cool. Like, I can't do this. I had to go stand in front of these brothers that paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for my beats and my videos and artwork and all of this, just to get ready and, you know, play money. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know, it's like, and my brother, you know, a couple of my bros, like my bro D-Rec and my bro Meezy and my bro Deezy, like, they got me locked in with them up there, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I felt like I had let them down. And you could hear in that music, I never dropped any of it, but you could hear in the music like I was fighting with, in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm, you know what I mean? Because I was asking God to save me, but then I'll pull up on you and smoke you. Like,
wow.
Right? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, that was that, man. I had to, that's when I made that transformation, you know, was at 29.
Wow.
And it came from, you know, dealing with them, with mental health, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with the little mental issues, the trauma, the distrust, the insecurities, the, you know, and in that season I got diagnosed bipolar, paranoia, you know, all of that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm glad I'm not in that season no more.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you overcame it too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are.
I want to make sure I touched on that question.
No, you did.
Okay.
You did for sure, definitely,
Okay.
because 100%, you know, you turned it all the way around.
Yeah.
God came to you in your dream and made it clear, you know,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And they respected it too.
Words
like,
are powerful.
They respected it, and you know, I still tilt my hat to Chicken Hill to this day.
That's what's
You know
up.
what I'm saying? My boy Chicken.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So the transition from Murda 34 to Murcy 34 says a lot spiritually. What does that change mean to you?
Man, from murder to mercy. Mercy's like the opposite of murder.
Right.
If you got somebody ready to smoke you, you begging for mercy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, from murder to mercy, that transition is like, man, I used to bring murder to the streets. I used to have to live that out, you know. I used to have to, you know, do whatever I had to do to live that name out. And it was just, you know, That's been my name since I was like 14.
Wow.
Yeah, and I barely changed it. Maybe about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I changed it to Murcy, and I had everybody in the Christian hip hop and in the kingdom like, you can't be over here as Murda, because I didn't change it right away when I came to God.
Wow.
I didn't. I'm still Murda. Like, I murder my flesh. I die to myself every day. But I was trying to hold on to something that was given to me as a child, and it wasn't from God. You know what I'm saying? It was from the streets. So, but it was just the transition in itself happened because of my daughter. I had a bunch of men always judging me for it and telling me I can't do this, I can't do that. And I'd be like, hey, bro, if you got a problem with it, talk to God about it. But I'm not changing nothing until God tells me. And God used my kids. You know, I seen the way they were hurting. I seen the way the communication was going between us, and they weren't listening to me, and this and this and that. And it was like, I kind of felt like my life was falling apart because I was focusing on relationships and all of these other types of things, and then still trying to minister and, you know, I would just had a lot to juggle, you know what I mean? And it wasn't good for my mental in that season. But it was, though, because it caused me and it turned me to surrender anything and everything that came from my old life. Like, God, take it. You know? And I'd be lying if I said that, you know, there wasn't residue from my old life, you know? There's ain't no magic over here. You know what I'm saying, on this side. Just God gives us free will.
Absolutely.
You know, so I have made some choices, you know, through the years, you know, between me and God, you know, that I don't really, you know, I really don't like, you know what I'm saying? But God has dealt with me in those areas, and, you know, He's given me mercy.
Absolutely.
So now that I've brought so much of the murder characteristic to the streets, now I just bring mercy, and it helps me as much as it helps other people. It helps me as well. You know, I still struggle sometimes giving people mercy, and I have to double back real quick. Like, hold on, hey man, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. Like, but I'm quicker now.
But that's all right. You know, you're human too.
Right.
You're still human.
Right, and that's why we got that free will, and you know, I choose God every time I got to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you ever feel like God gives you songs or lyrics specifically for certain people who are struggling like the way you once did?
Wow. So, a lot of people don't know this, but I cry on some of the songs I write, like bawl, and I don't know why. Like, in the moment, I know why, but I'm saying, like, man, God, like, Holy Spirit hits me, and as I'm rapping, I'll start, like, in that Shadows and Stones, like, that one is like, I was bawling because I'm thinking of my daughter. I'm thinking about every young girl, every young man, every woman, every man on this earth who struggles with that feeling. I wouldn't wish it upon my enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like songs, and then there's songs too that are hyped up. Like, I got a song called Yo, I'm Talking About. Like, it's so hyped. I could vision, you know, I've done that a lot with a lot of my songs, is I vision me in a stadium, not to praise me though.
Yeah.
But to just be in worship together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we all singing the same song. But I'd be lying to you if I told you that I haven't heard like some of my music. I've already seen it. God has showed me. You know what I'm saying? That it's gonna reach places. It's just not gonna be on my time.
I believe it.
It's just not gonna be on my time.
Yeah.
So, but I can say all that to say that it's just, you know, I've cried on a lot of songs while writing them and recording some of them too, just because I'm thinking about every person in this world who needs to hear this.
You know the impact.
Right?
God's telling you the impact it's going to have.
And I finally figured out why I went through everything I went through.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with me.
Right.
But everything to do with the people He's called me to reach.
Absolutely.
So I just live it and put it and bleed on the track. Like, that's all I do. You know what I'm saying? And then somehow, and I know, like, somebody's going to relate to this. I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm not doing it for the likes. I'm doing it because I know somebody out there needs to hear and know that you're not alone.
The message is greater than you.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I'm just a vessel. I'm nothing special. I'm just a vessel, and
Right.
I'm just sharing with y'all what I've been through.
Yes.
And then what got me out of it.
That's beautiful.
In hopes that it touches you the same way it did me, and that you would choose.
That's beautiful, and that's how you know it's an amazing song. When you can sing, when you sit there and cry to your own song,
Man.
you already know that's the
Man.
one. That's the one for sure.
And I've gotten a lot of stories from a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of people calling me like, "Hey, my son listens to your music."
For someone out there who's torn between the streets and salvation, what's your message to them right now?
Fall back. Fall back, because the streets don't love you. You know what I mean? When we die, when we pass, the streets may remember you. People in the streets, your family, obviously, but the actual streets, the politics, they don't love you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? How
Right.
can I tell you I love you, but then say, hey, bro, if you don't go smoke them, if
Right.
you don't go do something about that, if you don't go put your life on the line, whether it's life in prison or death, if you don't go do that, then you not welcome over here, or you not considered gangster.
Wow.
If I were to go around telling kids that, I'd be wrong. So
Right.
if you torn between the streets and in the gospel, I'll just fall back, build a relationship with God.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Call out to him, and find some new friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be like everybody else. You ain't got to be the same as everybody else. You know what I mean? Love somebody.
Right.
Help somebody. But then there are some people that can't get themselves, like the kids that can't get themselves out of it. Still, choose love, choose peace, separate yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when it's all said and done, what legacy do you want Murcy 34 to leave behind as a man, as an artist, and as a servant of God?
Message I would want to leave behind,
The legacy.
the legacy. It would just be to focus more on what God says than what other people say.
Mm.
Get in the word for yourself. I would just want people to love correctly. Stand on your word, keep your word, and just love each other, man. Love each other.
Absolutely.
The real, true, authentic love. You know what I mean?
All right.
Peace,
Yes.
kindness, all that.
Yes, yes. So you have a song. It's called Shadows and Stones. So let's listen to it and let the world know, let people know who's watching and tuning in what Murcy 34 is about.
Oh, yeah, man. Y'all know God's mercy, man. He gave me that name, man. So, we just out here trying to spread the love and the peace of Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? No judgment, no condemnation. Just all pure love.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. Check out Shadows and Stones.
Shadows and stones. This place isn't ours anymore. I can't be alone. It all reminds me of our
Murcy. It's like you dreaming when you thinking, is this even real? Am I really still alive when I could have been killed? Am I really going through this, Father? What's the deal? You know it's bad when I be stressing, I be skipping meals. That's why I pray throughout the day, cause I need to be filled. Traumatized from all the time I spent inside the field. I need your mercy, need your grace, I need your love for real. Need your correction, so I know how to love for real. It's so crazy how you sacrifice your only son. Drown myself in problems every day like I'm the only one. And nobody gets tested like the chosen and the holy ones. That's why I'm at your noggin with this knowledge like you owe me some. When you tell them you ain't got it, who gon' throw you some? When times get rough, they tend to act like they don't owe you none. They ain't gon' show the love you earn until they know you won. Throwing money in your face like they owe you one. I need your ear to be right here like I just told you some. Tell you my business, praying it might really show you some. I'm still growing by the day, I ain't no phony none. See me fall and get back up, but never saw me run. I fight depression, getting stuck inside my head a lot. Shadows in them stones had me laying in my bed a lot. Thinking if people would even notice I was dead or not. It's so many snakes, I promise I done had to shed a lot. Yeah, with no point intended. You know the love be real when you can't pretend it. Embracing all my problems, I'm just praising in them. And now you barely come to Jesus, I've been staying with him. Yeah, I'm talking thick and thin. Feeling like I'm always wrong, I can't win for win. We ain't making deals with demons, God's forgiving sins. And it's a reason for this season, leave it in his hands. Yeah, but I be so impatient. Telling God I'm giving up cause I'm so agitated. Tired of hearing people tell me that they glad I made it. When I'm struggling just to breathe, praying that I make it. And it's so hard to trust, I'm so through with lies. Like I've been solo before to the point of suicide. Felt like no one understood me, I was through with life. Ready to give up, leave this earth, I was blue inside. But I gave my life to Jesus and I've been forgiven. Devil playing with my head, so I've been tripping. Is this real or is this fake? Father, give me wisdom. I can't trust the soul no more, so help me make the right decisions. All them shadows in them stones turn to shattered bones. Hurt people, turn to shattered homes. She wouldn't need that love from him if she had her wrong. He wouldn't need that love from her if he was standing strong. But it says inside his word that we ain't meant to stand alone. Just make sure it's his word and his promises you standing on. I promise you gon' fall for sure. Probably won't be standing long if you ain't putting God first before you make a home a home. It just ain't gon' work. Gotta put your trust in God before you trust in her. Don't put your trust inside that man until you trust him first. Cause we gon' let each other down, that's just how it works. Yeah. Cause ain't nobody perfect. It's up to you if you decide if it's really worth it. And there's some things that gotta change if you steady hurting. Especially if you know it's real and you putting work in. It just ain't gon' work. Gotta put your trust in God before you trust in her. Don't put your trust inside that man until you trust him first. Cause we gon' let each other down, that's just how it works. Yeah. Cause ain't nobody perfect. It's up to you if you decide if it's really worth it. And there's some things that gotta change if you steady hurting. Especially if you know it's real and you putting work in. Wow.
That's deep. I love that song.
That was for
I love
deep.
that song. I felt it.
Man.
I felt it. I felt all of it. And just from you explaining a little bit of the background of it, it's just like I felt it in my heart because so many of us are fighting battles every day that we don't know what's going on, you know, and it's, I mean, a lot of people think about suicide and a lot of people think about taking that route, but thank God you didn't. Thank God your daughter didn't, you know. That's just, I don't even understand or don't even know how, you know, to even handle. I can't even imagine something like that, you know, with my kids. But, you know, you're strong man of faith. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for being vulnerable. I appreciate you, everybody. Don't forget to go stream Murcy's music out on all platforms, you know, for sure. Where can people find you?
You just look me up on any platform, Murcy 34, man. Talk to somebody. You feel me? Talk to somebody, man, solely. I don't know if you was my fault.
No, you're good. Yeah, please talk to somebody. Like you said, please keep supporting voices that bring faith and mental health together.
Yes.
You know, speak your piece, speak your story, your journey, you know. Until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, check yourself, check your mental health. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and keep the conversation going.
God bless y'all, man.
That's Moses, stupid.